The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, called on all Venezuelan people to offer their absolute support to the Bolivarian National Armed Forces during his review of the military community brigades. The 6th China-Latin American High-Level Defense Forum was held in Beijing with growing condemnation of the United States' aggressive operations in the Caribbean. And in the United States, the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late-night TV show has sparked concerns for the state of freedom of speech in the nation. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Alejandra Garcia from teleSUR Studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. Stay with us. The president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, led on Thursday the review of the work of the military communal brigades for education and health, Bricomiles. In this context, he called on all Venezuelan people to offer their absolute support to the Bolivarian National Armed Forces, which are deployed in defense of the sovereignty and security of the Venezuelan Caribbean in the face of recent U.S. threats. The Bolivarian president highlighted the military drills carried out in the country's territorial waters as a way to reaffirm the nation's legitimate right to protect its territory. He also denounced the false narratives promoted by the U.S. government and warned there is an imperialist plan to bring about a change of government in Venezuela. In this context, Venezuelan Minister of Defense Vladimir Padrino Lopez offered details of the Caribe Soberano 200 exercise held on the island of La Orchila in the insular territory Francisco de Miranda. The minister informed that the 72-hour land and naval air exercise is still underway, and so far it has been carried out according to plan. The activities have been carried out in perfect popular military and police fusion, which has allowed the increase the operational readiness of the National Bolivarian Armed Forces. Padrino reaffirmed that under the premise of drug trafficking, the U.S. administration has wanted to discredit and eliminate the democratic Venezuelan institutionality. In the face of this scenario of aggression to national sovereignty, the joint campaign maneuver Caribe Soberano 200 has demonstrated the effectiveness of the synergies in defense of the homeland. We stay in Venezuela, where the National Council for Sovereignty and Peace reported on the operations carried out by the central government to guarantee the defense and territorial integrity. The spokesperson of the Council for Sovereignty and Peace, Jorge Rodriguez, reported on the formation of international networks to join forces in the interest of preserving peace and sovereignty in the region. Rodriguez also highlighted the commitment of the Venezuelan people to defending their territory and their absolute rejection of any form of aggression against Venezuela. Rodriguez also announced the upcoming establishment of state and sectoral councils in all fishing states of the country. Also in Venezuela, supermarket shelves are filled with the products made in the country, a reality that the imperial media does not show and that is reflected not only in figures but also in the feeling of its inhabitants. Andrea Romero tells us more.
En los últimos años, la economía venezolana ha experimentado una transformación.
In recent years, the Venezuelan economy has undergone a significant transformation, with the bolivar regaining ground as the main currency and the supply of domestic products, which translates into confidence and growing independence.
On supermarket shelves, 90% of products are domestically produced, which deserves applause.
El 95% de las transacciones hoy son en bolívares, nuestra moneda nacional.
95% of transactions today are in bolivars, our national currency, and as of yesterday, according to the latest information, 30 supermarkets have opened throughout the country in 2025. with a goal of 40 stores for this year, compared to 61 in 2024.
De acuerdo al analista Raymond Martínez,
According to analyst Raymond Martinez, this is the result of macroeconomic policies focused on strengthening the use of the local currency rather than foreign currencies.
We are building confidence in the Bolivar again through monetary policies aimed at reducing consumption and trade related to currency issues, and by promoting technical advice through banking services. Everything related to digital commerce, making room for everything related to promoting the use of the current currency, which is the Bolivar.
Congressman Ramon Lobo details how this steady growth in Venezuelan production has been sustained despite external threats.
Hell, since the third quarter of 2021, the productive apparatus has been growing at a gross rate. Let us remember that this has been motivated by the sanctions scheme that was established in Venezuela in response to a systematic and psychological campaign whose primary objective is to intimidate and sow anxiety among the Venezuelan people. This also has a clear and definite objective, which is to immobilize the productive apparatus. They seek to paralyze economic agents by creating negative expectations of uncertainty and insecurity.
Economic stability has a direct impact on citizens by giving them greater access to a wider range of products in supermarkets.
There are Venezuelan products. We have flour, rice, pasta, grains, butter. I think there is a lot of variety.
Venezuela moves toward greater economic independence and sovereignty.
En la cámara de José Luis Briceño, Andrea Romero, teleSUR, Caracas, Venezuela.
Now we go to Colombia, where President Gustavo Petro officially handed over 18,000 hectares of land to approximately 5,000 farmers from the Magdalena Medio region. The land transfer ceremony took place at the Ventura Castillo Coliseum in the western department of Caldas. This action represents a significant step toward agrarian reform in the country, a commitment that Petro considers crucial to democratizing land ownership and combating rural inequality. The president emphasized that in a context of historical violence related to land tenure, it is urgent to guarantee a productive and peaceful future for Colombian farmers.
hectáreas de 40,000.
18,000 hectares out of 40,000. 40,000 that should increase is not enough. Magdalena Medio is one of the priority areas of the agrarian reform, and we have to produce, not just have land. It is of no use to us to have land if we do not work it, and to work it, we need technology, education, and money, and cooperation must continue. Because a farmer alone begins to lose his strength, and only by helping each other, the family, the farmer, and the local community, can we move production forward.
Es que podemos echar para adelante la producción.
Remember, you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to From the South. Telecommunications fair FTS continues in Venezuela, boosting the cooperation at a national and regional level on key technological areas. Our correspondent Ana Marrero is there to tell us all about it.
Well, we are at the FTS 2025, and the people has came here to learn about what is technology, telecommunication, fiber optics, robotics too, and this has been so futuristic. It really has been. We have a lot of things here. The people that have came are just learning about technology, telecommunication, and well, this is be really mixed topics in here. We had earlier the battle of the ones that can build a system of fiber optics the most fast as they can. Here are some of the staff. There are more than 100 staff and more than 100 enterprises that are here at the FTS event 2025. And we have more information because we'll be covering this event tomorrow, Saturday, and on Sunday, which is the last day. And we think we have much more activities. So more information to you next.
Thank you, Anna, for the report. And now we move to other informations. On Friday, the 6th China Latin American High-Level Defense Forum was held in Beijing, with growing condemnation of the United States' aggressive operations in the Caribbean. The meeting took place in the framework of the Xiangshan Forum, with the participation of defense and military officials from China and 18 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean who pledged deeper cooperation on security matters. The event is relevant in light of the tensions generated by the nuclear-capable warfare contingent that the United States has deployed in the region. Beijing has called on Washington to stop forcing Latin American countries to choose sides and demands respect for the sovereignty and independence of each nation. And on Thursday, the authorities of Nicaragua's capital, Managua, and the Chinese city of Hangzhou signed a twinning agreement with the aim of promoting joint projects and strengthening exchanges in areas of mutual interest. Nicaraguan advisor for investment and international cooperation, Laureano Ortega Murillo, highlighted the progress made since the restoration of diplomatic relations and emphasizes the importance of maintaining direct contact. Among the sectors with the greatest potential for collaboration are fisheries, logistics, electronics, cement and steel. For his part, the director of the Hangzhou Standing Committee, Yi Jungmin, expressed his gratitude for the welcome and pointed out that this alliance will generate concrete benefits for both cities and serve as an example of cooperation between China and Latin America. Now we go to Mexico, where President Claudia Sheinbaum led the flag-raising ceremony in memory of the victims of the earthquake that struck the country in 1985 and 2017. A tribute to the victims of the earthquakes is being held in the Zócalo of Mexico City, with the participation of members of the executive and the National Armed Forces who paraded as part of the ceremony. Throughout the day, the second National Earthquake Drill 2025 will be realized, responding to the need to continue strengthening prevention and preparedness for emergencies throughout the country. The National Coordination of Civil Protection has called on public and private institutions and the general public to actively participate in the drill by following the established protocols. We have a second show break coming up. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to From the South. Now we go to the United States. The suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's late-night TV show has sparked concerns for the state of freedom of speech in that nation. ABC Network suspended the program on Tuesday following the host's comments about the assassination of far-right activist Charlie Kirk on September 10th. The measure has been denounced by several organizations as a blatant assault on freedom of expression, with fellow late-night show hosts firing fiery remarks at ABC's parent company, Disney, and the Federal Communications Commission. The action, which has also sparked protest outside the network's headquarters in Los Angeles and New York, has been widely regarded as part of a broader trend where major media companies are increasingly aligning with right-wing views supported by Trump to protect their business interests at the expense of free speech.
Trump has been threatening Kimmel for years. He pressured to get Colbert off the air. He said Kimmel was next. So it's not a surprise, but it is like a gut punch. It is a huge escalation.
The Writers Guild is determined. We stand in solidarity with not only our fellow writers, but with everybody. We make our living with our words, right? We know the value of words, and this is a chilling effect.
Jimmy Kimmel having his show preempted by ABC because of comments that he made that the president disagreed with is part of a larger pattern of fascism. We as Americans have to accept the fact that we have fascism in the United States right now.
In this context, Senate Democrats introduced a bill on Thursday to protect free speech while decreeing Kimmel's suspension.
Last night, they showed us exactly how serious they are. Trump's FCC forced a major network to pull a loud Trump critic, Jimmy Kimmel, off the air, essentially saying that any media actor that doesn't say what Trump wants them to say about Charlie Kirk or Trump's policies is going to be silenced. That's censorship. That's state speech control. That's not America.
Israeli forces closed the second access road to the city of Gaza and announced an unprecedented offensive on the enclave during the fourth day of the army's ground invasion of the Gaza Strip. Occupation forces are moving into the center of the coastal enclave where hundreds of Gazans still remain in the territory amid ongoing attacks. The people of Palestine are still resisting and refuse to be expelled despite the Israeli army's ordering the evacuation to begin the military incursion. Likewise, the residents denounced the ethnic cleansing that is taking place with attacks on neighborhoods full of civilians, including women and children. Meanwhile, on Friday, Israel announced the indefinite closure of two border crossings with Jordan. The measure comes as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu blames Jordan for an incident that occurred on Thursday at the Allenby King Hussein crossing, which left two Israeli soldiers dead. In response, Tel Aviv is tightening controls on trucks arriving from Amman with supplies for the Gaza Strip, including more strict inspections and metal detector checks. The closure affects the Allenby crossing, which connects Jordan to the West Bank, and the Jordan River crossing, limiting the movement of Palestinians and the entry of humanitarian aid. And with this information from Palestine, we have come to the end of this news brief. Remember, you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok as well. For Telesur English, I'm Alejandra Garcia. Thank you for watching.